Welcome to Service Titans, the podcast where we dive deep into the inspiring journeys of Black men within the AmeriCorps community. From serving in classrooms to rebuilding neighborhoods, these are the stories of passion, purpose, and resilience. Join us as we amplify the voices of members of the AmeriCorps community and share their triumphs, challenges, and the impact they've made in their communities. Whether you're a seasoned AmeriCorps veteran or someone considering service, this is the space to explore, reflect, and be inspired. Get ready to be uplifted, empowered, and connected. This is Service Titans.
What up, though? I'm Anton Taylor, your fellow Service Titan, and I'm excited to kick off this podcast journey with you all. This idea started 3 years ago when I embarked on a passion project fueled by a sense of disconnect I was feeling within my previous role as a member of the AmeriCorps community. One thing I've always noticed was a glaring absence of Black men in this space, a realization that only grew more pronounced as my career evolved. So what began as a quiet quest to connect with other Black men in the AmeriCorps quickly morphed into something bigger. Through countless conversations and survey responses, I discovered a shared passion and an unyielding desire to connect with like-minded individuals dedicated to community service. And quite frankly, that's why we're here today. This podcast is about amplifying and inspiring journeys of Black men within AmeriCorps. From classrooms to neighborhoods, the goal is to delve into stories of passion, purpose, and resilience. But before diving into our guest stories, I thought it would be dope just to give a little bit of about myself and my why and the pivotal role that AmeriCorps has played in shaping my journey as a man and as a professional. So I ask for y'all to picture this: the 90s in Detroit, a city pulsating with energy, and a young man hungry to unravel the mysteries of the world. That young man was me. I grew up immersed in a family where community-centered work wasn't just a choice. Quite frankly, it was a way of life. My father, a community activist, molded by the legacies of names I'm sure we're all familiar with, names like Fannie Lou Hamer, Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, and countless others, instilled in me the values of dreaming big, pursuing career aspirations, and making a tangible difference. He often emphasized the importance of uplifting and supporting Black-owned businesses and initiatives in our community. This ignited in me an entrepreneurial spirit and a flame that, quite honestly, still burns brightly with me today. Even now in our conversation, his voice echoes with the familiar refrain. He often says, "Son, it's great that you're excelling in your career, but never forget to invest in your community. Build something that generations and the kids can see." He always thought it was important to have what he called loud businesses, not silent businesses, something that people, when they walk by, they wanted to talk about, they wanted to see, that inspired others. I'm still working on making this vision a reality, but it's a promise I truly intend to fulfill and I will fulfill. So growing up in that environment, I didn't just learn the ins and outs of service and community. I also became acutely aware of the pressing needs within my own neighborhood. This awareness ignited a fire that is continuously to burn with me to this day. And it's had a meaningful impact on how I look at things that are taking place in our community and the challenges that plague communities across the country. So let's just skip a little bit further. Don't want to give too much of my age, but let's skip a little bit further to 2008, which was a really pivotal moment in my life where I found myself at a crossroads. I was starting a family and grappling with somewhat regrettable choices I had made up to that point. Honestly, I was in a vulnerable place in my life. As some of our parents would say, I was running with the wrong crowd. Ironically, it wasn't during this uncertain period that my brother-in-law my now brother-in-law, I'll say, introduced me to a program called City Year. And if you're a member of the AmeriCorps committee, I'm sure you're pretty familiar with City Year. In a casual conversation, he mentioned seeing people walking around downtown with bright red jackets on and joked about if you're a part of this program, you receive free Tims or Timberlands. So for those that know, you know what Tims is what Tims are. To this day, I'm not entirely sure why he thought of me for this opportunity. But sometimes, others see potential in us that we can't recognize in ourselves. A theme that you'll probably see through this podcast that's pretty common in my journey. So long story short, I found myself serving as an AmeriCorps member with City Year. I was placed to serve at Detroit Lions Academy. As you can see, I'm repping the D and always reps the D. Despite not living there for 10 plus years, it's just natural in me to rep the D. And if you know me, this was, surely perfect. The opportunity to serve at a school titled Detroit Lions Academy, but also a school that was in my old hood, my old neighborhood, an area that I grew up in, knew so much about. So it was perfect. And at that time, I was thinking like, man, this must truly be a sign of good things to come. I'm a Detroit sports fan, Lions fan through and through, but also got put at a school that was named and supported by the Detroit Lions. So this was pretty dope. I was like really geeked about this opportunity. But beyond my passion for the city's teams, this year was so transformative for me in the short term and the long term. But what made this year of service truly special were the incredible people I met along the way. Some of who I still keep in touch with to this day. In fact, many of them were present at my wedding later in that year. So 2008, as I think about it, marked a significant turning point in my life. A year fulfilled with growth, connections, and an unforgettable experiences. Moving forward, I transitioned to being a part of the AmeriCorps staff at City Year. And that experience honestly started with a leap of faith. I took the opportunity to leave Detroit and I applied to be a program manager in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. This move wasn't just a change of scenery. As I've kind of said, it was a transformative, and AmeriCorps has been a transformative moment. And this was one of those moments. It really helped broaden my horizons and refine my skills as a young professional. The incredible educators and students and community members of Louisiana really taught me the profound impact of unity and support. But let me tell you, there's a lot more to this story, the move from Detroit to Baton Rouge that meets the eye. It was much more than just a geographical shift. It was a profound personal journey, one that I promise to explore in depth in future episodes. To give a little bit tidbit, during that time, my wife came down and didn't really vibe with Baton Rouge and decided we're going to stay at our home in Detroit as you kind of figure things out there in Baton Rouge. So that definitely was something I had to kind of adjust to, but it was something I definitely appreciate it and don't regret that experience there. And I'll definitely, as I said, kind of delve a little bit more into that journey. But let's fast forward to moving to Sacramento, California. Another, I think, sort of a journey that at that time I didn't quite understand. But again, someone saw something in me that I didn't quite see in myself. So I took on this fresh challenge and moved to Sacramento and took on the role of recruitment director for a brand new City Year site. So we're part of the startup site in Sacramento. So moving from direct service to recruitment really felt like a natural progression for me. You see, like connecting with people and navigating rejection has always been sort of second nature to me. Again, growing up in the entrepreneurial sort of family, my dad always had me selling and pitching things to people. So I got really comfortable with sharing my story, sharing my piece, and being comfortable with how people react to it and being able to sort of respond to that accordingly. So what I didn't realize at the time when I sort of made this shift, that this somewhat innate ability or skill set that I had was something that everyone didn't possess. And now that I see it as a skill set, at that time, I just thought it was, just spitting game or just being in front of folks and sort of sharing my story. But I kind of learned as I've grown that this is truly a skill set that should be embraced. And I've learned to embrace that. And it's been a huge part of sort of my journey and my story. So as the years went on, I found myself deeply immersed in various AmeriCorps initiatives and committees. I've been fortunate enough to crisscross the country attending events, visiting college campuses, and honestly just spreading the word about the incredible opportunities within AmeriCorps and the beautiful community that AmeriCorps provides. And it's been a really cool experience because quite frankly, it's just really sharing my story and like what AmeriCorps has meant to me. And fortunately enough, a lot of people have sort of vibe with that. And I can think about countless young people and particularly young men that I've been able to engage and watch their journey through AmeriCorps and beyond. So it's really been cool. But amidst the hustle and bustle, one thing that continued to resonate with me was the unique opportunities and challenges we face as Black men in the AmeriCorps community. This is truly a topic that's close to my heart and one that I'm passionate about exploring further in this podcast. However, these days, my work is primarily focused on leadership development and employee engagement. My mission is all about redesigning and dismantling systems while helping organizations and teams cultivate a culture of strength and inclusivity. I'm really fully immersed in this work, and I can honestly say I'm loving every minute of it and really feel blessed to be in this space where people trust my approach, my leadership, my style. And as I think about it, it's all rooted in the experiences I've gained through my AmeriCorps journey. But I would like to take a small step back and think about the importance of creating inclusive spaces and how that's become really more than a job for me. It's really my passion and it's become that passion for me. And as I think about the root of that, a lot of that really kind of goes to my AmeriCorps experience and the things that I sort of experienced along that journey that helped me understand the importance of inclusivity and the importance of being open-minded and growth mindset and a lot of those things that I'm sure we're all sort of familiar with. And quite frankly, I think it serves at the foundation of many of the beliefs and values that have been instilled in me and that I pass on to my children and those in my circle. So I think for many of us, inclusivity can be sort of a buzzword, but for me, it's so much more than a buzzword. It's again like the guiding principles that help shape how I lead and how I live my life as a Black man, and as a father, as a husband. It's really sort of the foundation of how I approach things. Again, I wanted just to give some insights to who I am as you sort of take this podcast, hopefully take this podcast journey with me and our guests. But as I wrap up the episode, I can't help but again reflect on the incredible journey from my AmeriCorps adventures and how it's really helped to shape my life beyond that initial sort of conversation with my brother-in-law about the red jackets and the free Tims. It's been a journey filled with discovery, uh, passion for service, and the undeniable power of coming together for change. And I think that's the thing that's really cool about AmeriCorps is the coming together of people from all different walks of life, all different experiences. But the common thread is that idea of working together for change. And whatever that vehicle of change may be, we know that it's moving towards something positive, leaving things better than we sort of found it. So whether you're a seasoned AmeriCorps veteran or simply considering diving into service, remember, this hopefully is intended to be a space to reflect, be inspired, and perhaps even ignite some change of your own. Through this podcast, I aim to foster trust, empathy, and quite frankly, real talk. Because when we come together and share our stories authentically, that's when true change happens. So I want to say thank you for joining me on this kickoff episode of Service Titans. I'm truly excited for the journey ahead. I hope today gave you a glimpse into who I am as your host. So stick around as we share laughs, lessons, and hopefully help light your path to living your most authentic life. Until next time, Keep the conversation flowing, keep service front and center, and just continue to shine bright in your communities. This is Service Titans, and I look forward to taking this journey with you all. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us as we explored the inspiring journeys of Black men in AmeriCorps. Keep the conversation going by connecting with us on social media. Until next time, stay committed, stay courageous, and keep striving to make a difference. This is Service Titans, where every story told is a testament to the power of service. Thank you for listening.